Let me guess, your expenses are in QuickBooks or some financial spreadsheet, or you're sending pictures of receipts to finance. And I think there's a better way to do this. Here's how you can manage expenses happily inside of HubSpot, right where everyone else is working. So you get a clear view of how much you're spending on an event, trending over time, and actually get ROI. First and foremost, let's do a quick and dirty way. I'm showing an event record. It's Paleta Fest 2025. It was a hot one. Wish you were there. We have this total expenses property. Now, if you want to do a quick and dirty and fast forward through this entire video, just put your expenses right in a property. If you just know them, you don't care about line items, you just know exactly how much it costs, make a property, put in the value. We'll get to calculating the ROI later. Now, if you really want to get granular and see all the data, such as seeing your flights, the bouncy house, the nacho cheese fountain, if you want to know all of those expenses and see where they're at, or even manage them in a pipeline, I suggest creating a custom object. So go to settings, and your custom objects will be right under objects, custom objects, and you're going to want to create your expenses object. You want to add the associations and make sure that they are associated to Hapily events. And you can associate them to any other object, but we really care about it being associated to the event. Because when you create your event and you're working and managing the process, you want to be able to create an expenses right on the record. Also, it's nice to keep things clean is to have a pipeline for your expenses so you can set a different stage based upon where they're at. So when they're initially created, they can start and quoted, invoiced if you actually have to send out an invoice for that or you have been invoiced for it, and paid. Now back to the event record screen, we have a card that's showing the event expenses that are associated to the event right in the middle. So it's super easy to see where everything is at, even add up the file or that receipt, putting it right inside of HubSpot again, so it's easily referenceable, and where it is in the pipeline. Obviously, you can just click add and add any expenses that you would need to do as you're going along. This keeps everything all in one place. We're talking about managing events inside of HubSpot. Expenses are a big part of that. Now they're here. Looking at the total expenses, this is going to be a roll-up of the sum of all associated expenses where the amount is greater than zero. So you'll be able to add up all the things. It's going to be in a property. So it's the opposite of doing just putting a number in the total expenses. This is actually going to calculate all of the expenses for the event dynamically. What you could do now is, now that you know your revenue because of our automatic deal attribution, check out all the cool videos we have on different ways to attribute deals to events. But you get this event ROI that you can now set up as a calculated property. Let's take a look at this property. It doesn't get more simpler than this. When you have your net revenue, which is the sum of all of the associated closed won deals to your event, and that's divided by the total expenses, which is going to be a roll-up of all of your associated expenses. That's going to equate to your ROI. We're expressing this number as a percentage. If you want to do it as a number, you actually get your net profit as a currency on your event as well. So now that you have your expenses put inside of HubSpot, you get to do all the cool calculations, having my expenses, all the revenue, here's my net revenue, which is my profit, and then having my ROI. Now you can report on that over all events, and that is how you manage expenses happily.